Forgot to do my video this morning, getting ready to go into class for the second day. But uh, like I said, put on the sweater, kind of chilled out this morning. Woke up in the motel, super cold. Uh, had to turn the AC up. Didn't really help. It was just cold here in Indiana. So going into second day, trying to figure out all the do's and don'ts. Mainly going to pick up the do's because that's what I want to be able to accomplish whenever I am driving. I don't want any negative marks on my record or anything to reflect on Wave. Wave has been very generous. They've been very great as far as getting everything together and just sharing information upon information. So I definitely want to keep their standard that they have called for all their drivers to be at. There are others that make videos kind of like this as far as working for Wave and other companies as well, and you can just tell the standard of which Wave has called their drivers to reach. And they do a lot of good things, so I can't wait to get in there and actually start making some runs, hopefully picking up on the good habits and not the bad habits, and making this thing work. But got a really good night's sleep last night, and so now we are headed to, what are we doing? Day 2. Yeah, day 2, all the information loads, the DOT, logs, the whole 9 yards, which is probably way above my head, but hopefully I get something out of this. And if not, maybe like some cheat sheets. That would be really nice to kind of like put on my dash to remind me, hey, I might want to do X, Y, and Z. So we got a handy dandy little notebook. Sorry, Blues Clues. I picked that up from y'all from a long time ago. So here we go.
We're the Essary family, and we're exploring America one destination at a time.
So day 3 of orientation. I know it's only supposed to be 2 days, but day 3 of orientation, stayed and going to do the simulation class today. It's something that you have to do for Wave within a year. So you have the safety course that you take at the very end of orientation, and then there is a simulator that you have to take that you have to do within 90 days of orientation, and both of those classes you have to do annually. So we're going to go ahead and knock it out. I didn't make a video at the end of day 2 just because I had to digest. I had to, man, the information that they gave me was a lot. Fantastic information, good information, very much needed to know information. A lot of DOT regulations, individual state regulations that have to be adhered to depending on which one you're traveling through. So that's some very good information. And then, of course, we went through all their apps, all their procedures, their policies as far as getting in the yard, hooking up, getting out, all the logs. The logs was a big one. Took most of the day figuring out the log situation, when I need to be on, when I don't need to be on. And then what else did we do? Safety was another big one. All the things that you need to know to have a good roadside is what they call a DOT inspection, is a roadside. So in order to have a good roadside, and then all the incentives, all the good stuff that they do, the don'ts if you want to stay in this company, the things you do not need to do. So I mean, it was a lot of information. It was a lot of flipping paper and just looking at the sheet and going through and going, okay, this is what I need to do. And then of course they talk about the apps, and they're like, oh yeah, you go here, and then this is what you need to fill out. You go here, and this is what you fill out, but you don't fill any of it out. So that's, in my opinion, that doesn't really help the person that's trying to figure it out. And then they're like, oh yeah, just get in there and just start messing with, the buttons until you figure out what it does. And I'm like, I'm not. Now, some people can do that. Some people, they see it on the piece of paper, they see it on a book, and boom, it's in their head, they're good to go. Not me. I need to run through it a couple of times so I know exactly which buttons to push, where it's almost muscle memory where I can just click and go away. I mean, that's what I do with my current job right now is, I know the buttons. And it's muscle memory. It's click, 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 boom, and off I go. I can get it done in a quarter of the time if I have to explain it to people. So I understand where they're coming from, but just to even have a few tests, on the load board or something that you can give the new drivers a simulation of running through it so they can click it, they can see, they can kind of get a better understanding, a visual understanding if that's their prerogative and that's what they want to do. And didn't get back to the hotel till 6 o'clock. By the time I went, and I quickly grabbed something to eat. Didn't even go to a restaurant or anything. Just grabbed something. Got back to the hotel and pretty much crashed for the night because my brain was mush, is what the instructor would say. But it was just a lot of information, a lot of good information. Other than that, everything else was good. Everyone over there is super friendly. Got to meet my dispatcher, so I was really nice. Or it was really nice to meet her, put a face with the voice that I'm going to be hearing on the other end. Learn some of the other rules and regulations before I can personally dispatch within 250 miles of this, and I'll go through most of this either later today or on tomorrow's video. But they definitely love their drivers, and I believe if you're in transportation that you need to love your drivers. You need to love your employees because they're the one that's out on the road, that you want them to do good, you want them to succeed, you want them to get some money in their pocket, you want them to keep the reputation that you have, that you've built up, the standard of your business. So they do a really good job on the incentives of going, hey, keep your truck clean, keep trash outside of the inside of your truck, keep it cleaned out, inside and outside. So as far as like the bed goes, make sure there's no trash in there. Be ready for DOT. You are going to get pulled over. It's going to happen. Have your forms ready to go. Don't sit there and have to flip through a whole bunch of stuff or not know where something is. Make it very easy for DOT to get in and get out. That way it just kind of saves you time, saves them time, and you'll get a good report, and then off you go. That's where we are. Day 3, get ready to go have some breakfast, go to orientation, and then I will let you know if I am getting a load or not somewhere. I really need to get back home in 4.5 days. So I need a load that is close enough I can drop off in a day and a half or 2 days, or if I'm headed in that direction of home, I can drop off on the way. So I'll explain the whole trip thing, everything that you have to do whenever you get ready to do a trip. I'm not going to be a total expert on it, but I will give you the basic, the rudimentary, entry level kind of thing. See how it goes. I hope I'm not one of those drivers that my first trip is just a total debacle and I don't push a single button right. So yeah, but that's okay. We have breakfast and then we have training, and then we'll figure it out. It'll be all right. Let's go eat. Oh my, man, I don't even know where to begin. So much has happened. Let me see if I just can't collect my thoughts just for a second, put it into a perspective for everyone to understand. So got done with wave orientation day number 2. So I covered that. Y'all got that. Went back for the simulation class, which was supposed to last for about 2 hours. There was only 3 of us in the class, so it quickly went through. That's something that you have to do for wave. at least once a year. After orientation, you have 90 days. We got lucky. There was a class the next day, so we stayed an extra night, got the class out of the way. And then it was all determined, or we were hoping to all get a load somewhere. We were all hoping to get a load, hopefully closer back to our home base. So the load boards are pretty scarce right now just because the 2026 are just now coming up. So they're building them and then they're shipping them out. And so as quick as they ship them out, people are just grabbing them, which totally understand. So we sit there and waited. Now, the day after orientation, or sorry, the last day of orientation, they came into us and was like, hey, here's the load we have. And they were going to North Carolina. Well, North Carolina's out of the way. Granted, it's not that far out of the way. I did say if nothing else came up the next day, then I would definitely take it. Just because, I mean, need a load to recoup. It's all about the bottom dollar. So we sit there and we waited. Well, North Carolina went away. So I was like, okay, look. I was like, I need something. I was like, hey, help me out. First time doing this, orientation. You know, help me get back close. I mean, I was open to anything. I mean, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, if it would have been on the way, Colorado, maybe New Mexico, depending on if it was on the east side of New Mexico. So I sit there and waited, and I was like, man, if I don't hear anything by 3 o'clock, I got to go. I was like, there's no reason for me to sit here, pay another hotel fee for just a possibility, not even a guarantee. Well, lo and behold, 145 rolled around, and I got a load in a yard I'd never been to, going to a place never been. But I was like, hey, it's better than nothing. Let's go ahead. So me and my dispatcher talked for a little bit, got the directions, figured out where I needed to go. I remember orientation classes, so I know what I need to do. So I take off and I head over in that direction, and there's a detour. I know nothing about this area. I've never been to northern Indiana. I headed that way, and there was a detour, had to go around, end up getting on a toll road. Didn't even know there was an alternate bypass to it. Come to find out there is, so got to the yard, hooked up, took all the pictures and all the stuff, and I'll cover all the kind of what they went through as far as their policy and procedures go. Follow their guidelines, got everything up and running. Of course, it was my first time, so it took me a while to get there. It took me a while to hook up, and I head out. And I knew that I wanted to get to a spot, do my mandatory rest, and then get up as early as possible because I don't know what I was going to run into traveling to Colorado. And it was something. It was actually really nice. I mean, beautiful skies, kind of like the one that's right behind me the whole entire way. No real wind, didn't run into any kind of adverse weather. It was beautiful. But some things happened on the way that were first times for me. So I have to do everything that DOT says I have to do. I got to go into all the way stations. Cops can pull me over for no reason, just to check me if they wanted to. Well, thankfully, I didn't get inspected yesterday or today, but I did go through my first weigh station. Now, some other truckers were just going by it, but I was told in orientation, if there's a weigh station and it's open, you got to go. I'm pulling a little 33-foot light trailer, so I knew I wasn't going to be overweight. But if they ever found something, was there going to be an inspection on top of that? So I didn't know. I roll into it, and they just bypass me. They're like, hey, there's a lane over here, just go that way. And I was like, woo, thank you very much. I will go that way. And then I want to say Kansas City. Pretty sure it was Kansas City. I roll into Kansas City, and this truck passes me flying probably 80, 90 miles an hour. and there's 2 cops that are behind it. And I was like, okay, they caught him. They're going to pull him over. No. High-speed chase through Kansas City. And I'm talking like it wasn't just those 2 cops. There was at least 8 cops behind them. And this truck is darting in and out of traffic, and I'm just hoping he doesn't wreck out and just cause like a 6-hour delay. Well, I have to get off and get gas. No idea where this guy went. No idea how it turned out. It didn't affect me. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully the cops caught him. And thank you for not causing me any kind of trouble. So that was my first. I called my wife. I was like, babe, high-speed chase in Kansas City. She was like, is that the first one? I was like, yeah, it's the first one. That's so awesome. I got it on my first trip. Like, I'm getting all these first out of the way on my very first trip, which is also really good because then it gives me practice. So I get into Kansas finally. And all of a sudden, it says, if blinking I-70 is shut down, you must exit. And I'm going, why would it be blocked off? Why? What kind of reason would they have that they would block the entire interstate off? And then I was thinking, where do I go? What do I do? Hopefully my GPS recognizes it. Hopefully I can follow another, fifth wheel or big truck or 18-wheeler, something. Well, it wasn't. Come to find out, they do experience high winds over here. So if it would have been a high wind, they'd have blocked it down. I'd have had to go somewhere else. And then if it's adverse weather, if they're expecting a tornado or something like that, they also shut down. Kind of in tornado alley right now. Thankfully, it's out of season. So crossing my fingers, praying real hard that doesn't take place. But I pushed it today. And what I mean by pushed it is you get 11 hours of drive time within a 14-hour window. I pushed all 11 hours. I pushed it hard for as long as I could, for as far as I could. Thankfully, right before the 11 hours was up, I found this wonderful rest stop, kind of in the middle of nowhere. But I found this beautiful little area. They were out here mowing it, so it's freshly manicured. Enjoying a really awesome breeze. Not hot at all, like 84 degrees. Gonna walk around a little bit, get some exercise. Been kind of cooped up a little bit more than what I want. Only really got out to get lunch and to get fuel, so I didn't go walking or anything. So after how I slept last night, I definitely need some exercise, work some kinks out, and then get ready to do it all over again. But I got to figure out how the timing works as far as how long it takes you to get somewhere, because you have to call the dealer within 24 hours or as soon as you possibly know whenever you're going to be arriving. So number one, you make sure someone's there. Number two, they know that you're coming, courtesy kind of call. I'll drop off tomorrow noonish, 11, 10-ish. I don't know. I'm crossing another hour boundary, so I don't know exactly when I'll be dropping off on their time. And then I'm going to turn around and hightail it back home. All right, just made it home. So made it home on day 7, about midday, noonish, right at lunch on day 7. I didn't do a video yesterday. There was a lot going on, a lot of checking. I want to make sure that I do everything right, that I learn the right way first. I definitely don't want to learn the wrong way and then have to come up with something to correct it. As long as I have the right way first, it'll make my life, it'll make my dispatcher, it'll make Wave's life a whole lot simpler instead of me calling in every single time that I do it, trying to double check myself, try to remind myself the proper procedure to happen. So I delivered yesterday in Colorado. A lot of things that I really liked and some things that I didn't like, of course. So, just trying to keep it real as much as possible. We'll start with the negative. Number one is sleeping in the truck. Probably the worst thing. Now, I do believe that there are tips and tricks out there to make that process 1,000 times better. So I will definitely be listening and watching and coming up with certain things to make that better. The sleeping arrangement did work out. I mean, I was comfortable. It wasn't unbearable. A negative, it's doable. It can be comfortable. It's not like sleeping at home in your bed or even at a hotel. So it's got to be a negative. One of the great things that I liked about it, as far as transportation, is you get to go to places that I've never been before. Got into Texas last night, made it to Masterstone. Yeah, Masterstone, rest stop right outside, stayed there overnight. So definitely love the scenery in most of the places. So being able to get out on different restaurants whenever I'm able to stop at different restaurants and eat some of the cuisine was really good. But on the flip side of that, whenever you have to eat in the truck, whenever you're eating sandwiches or adult Lunchables or making yourself a sandwich, when you're having to do that, it's not the best. It was good. Like, I survived. I don't think I lost any pounds on this one, but it's just not your typical home cooking meal. Man, home cooking meals are the only way to go. I mean, I know restaurants, some of them are really good, but home cooked meals are just definitely the best. So I'm glad to be home where I can get a home cooked meal. A good thing is I have a GPS that will get me where I need to go. So it's super simple. The bad thing is Missouri. We talked about your landscaping and how beautiful you are, but your road system. I don't know if y'all just forgot what numbers are. And anyone who hasn't been to Missouri, they don't use numbers. They don't number their highways. They letter. It's a route. So Route A, Route B, C, D. They even have 2 digits. Route AA, Route AJ. And I'm like, okay. So what happens whenever you start building some more highways that you need letters to? You're going to go 3 letters. You're going to have a LOL, OMG. How creative are you going to get on your routes? So, Missouri, you are the only state that I've been through so far that uses letters instead of numbers. But an overall really good trip. I traveled over 2,000 miles round trip by leaving Central Texas, Indiana, Colorado, and back. So it wasn't a long travel. Like, I've definitely driven longer as far as a round trip goes. So that part wasn't bad. And doing it an entire week and going through all the classes and everything wasn't that bad. It was okay. I mean, if you like driving and you're okay with being by yourself and maybe being in a little cramped area, it's not that bad. It's okay. Always okay. So getting down to prices, getting down to how much did it cost me? How much did I spend? What kind of profit is there? What kind of, whenever all the money that I've already put into the truck, when I still need some other stuff, when am I fully going to recoup everything and go into a profit? That's going to be on another video. I will separate the video all by itself and talk about how much I spent up there, how much I spent on orientation and other classes while I was there in Goshen, and what I spent on the trip back, and then the overall profit, or what Wave paid me to make that trip, and is that a profit? That will all be in another video. I'm still crunching all the numbers. I'm waiting on a few other things to come in to make sure that I have as close to real numbers as possible. Of course, I'm going to round everything, but Darth Hall, this beautiful truck, made it all the way no issues, no problems hauling the 33 footer that I had. Super simple, super easy, super check-in process over there at Camping World. Great. Didn't have any issues as far as that goes. And so I am definitely glad to see the Rebel Voyager. I'm definitely super excited to see my wife and my children. So I am glad that I am home, and it was definitely a good first trip. I will tell you this on top of everything. Wave, as the many times that I've called them to make sure I got everything taken care of correctly and making sure that I was good to go on my first load and the whole procedure that they have. Hands down, absolutely wonderful. No bad conversations with anyone. No one got snippy on either side. I kept it positive. They kept it positive. Worked through the process. That they were very helpful. And the great thing is although, my dispatcher is kind of a newer dispatcher, she hasn't been there like some of the other ones. If she didn't know, she wasn't afraid to either send me to someone or be like, hey, let me ask real quick. Let me make sure this is right. And so, she wanted to double check on her policy and procedures for her spot and help me understand and what I need to do going forward. So, but man, it was all right. I mean, it was good. It was as a first timer, very first time working for a transportation company. Now, hauling RVs, moving RVs, dealing with big trailers or heavy loads or something like that. Been doing that for years, so that's not a big problem for me. Making sure I'm following their rules and regulations and DOT, that's the big kicker. So overall, great time. Was I away from my family and missed them a lot? Absolutely. Am I a little bit tired? Probably. Sleeping in the back of the truck at any point in time, you're going to be tired. Ready to eat a good dinner, sleep in my nice bed, and get up and go to church tomorrow. And then back to the 9 and 5. I'm still looking forward to that too. I have a really good job. Oh, I got a lot of cleaning to do. A lot of dirty clothes. Wash the sheets. Compile numbers. Work on the truck. Maintenance. Yeah, I got 2 weeks for that. No problem. I'm gonna go take a nap. Let's go take a nap.